portion of CBSE chapter 11 for grade 10. So in this chapter we are going to study in two categories. First category is human eye and colorful. Second one is colorful world. In human eye we will study how eye works, how images form, how we can see the objects around us and all. And about the colorful world also, like how sunrise, sunset, even why we can see the traffic lights to the very long distances, and blue color of the sky, why ocean is supposed to be blue. These all things we will study. So let's begin. So as I said, we are going to study this chapter in two parts. In part 1 we are going to study about the human eye, mainly the structure of human eye. Usually the diagram and everything is not asked. They may give it a human eye and they may ask you to label it. And functions of its parts and power of accommodation, and in that one eye defects. In eye defects we have three types. One is myopia, another one is hypermetropia, and one more is presbyopia. So these three topics we are going to study, and in part 2 we are going to study how refraction takes place in glass prism and dispersion, and in this one more topic is the recombination of light. And how rainbow is formed, and atmospheric refraction and scattering of light. So in human eye and colorful world, two categories are there. One is human eye and second part is colorful world. First we are going to start with the human eye. So what is eye? What is eye basically? Can we see anything around us without eye? No, right? We can see the beautiful phenomena, beautiful things happening around us just because of eye. If we don't have an eye, you just imagine you don't have an eye, your eye is not working properly. Can you see anything? Can you walk properly? No, right? It is like a guiding lamp for us. So even it's nothing but a camera also. It captures whatever happening around us. It captures whatever is happening around us. So human eye is nothing but basically we can say it is a sensitive organ. Otherwise it is, human eye is one of the most valuable, and it is a sensitive organ which enables us to see the wonderful world and colors around us. Okay. So even we can say it as it is a camera. Why we call it as camera? Because our eye have a convex lens which we are going to study in parts of eye, and it forms a real and inverted image. अच्छा, ये real and inverted image form कर रहे तो then whatever we see around us, it appears to be upside right. According to this, whatever image, otherwise whatever we see around should be inverted, but everything we can see is right only. And light sensitive screen. Whatever image is formed, whatever we see, it will form an image on our eye. That screen, we call it as light sensitive screen. That is nothing but retina. Okay. Now, how eye forms an image? We are saying eye forms an image. How it forms? It forms an image by the process of diffraction of light, which we studied in previous chapter. That is, diffraction of light is nothing but bending of light when it travels from one medium to the another medium. Here, what are the two different mediums? So you just observe around you here. Whatever light is entering to your eye, it is entering from the air medium to the eye medium. So here density is changing, optical density is changing. Because of that, bending of light is taking place, and that light is focused on your retina by convex lens. Okay. So now reflection of light fine, but when we can see the image exactly? You can see the image when reflected rays of object comes and falls on your eye. For example, here let's take one bottle is there. Okay, light is falling on this bottle. In first chapter we say that light is a source of energy which makes us to see the things around us. Yes, right? So when this light falls on this, it have to reflect back, right? Because it is opaque medium. When it reflects back, this deflected rays should pass through our eye going under diffraction. If a light is falling on any object, that object should reflect back. Those reflected rays will again get refracted and it will form image on your eye. If object is not at reflecting a light, then you cannot see that object. Okay. Here which type of reflection is taking place? Here irregular reflection is taking place. Here irregular reflection is taking place. Next, structure of human eye. So let's start. So our human eye is like a goli. It's like a small spherical ball which is having a diameter of 2.3 centimeter. Its diameter is around 2.3 centimeter. Its diameter is around 2.3 centimeter. Okay, and it is protected by the orbital bone structure. Orbital bone is nothing but whenever you see skull now, in skull, let's take if it is a skull, in eye portion it will be downward. It will be like a, you can see the balls, two balls. This is, we call it as orbital bone. Okay, here our eye is protected. Now, maximum diffraction of light takes place at cornea. Then what is this cornea? So let's discuss about all the parts. The outermost layer of our eye. The outermost layer of our eye. That whenever anything falls into our eye, now we ask our mother to remove it, see, check something fell in our eye. That is the outermost layer of our eye, that is called as cornea. Okay. Here, whenever light enters from outer medium, the cornea is the first medium which our light is experiencing either change in the optical density. So because of that, diffraction will take place first at cornea and the maximum diffraction will take place at cornea. Okay. Then after this, what we have? After cornea, see here we have cornea. After cornea, the next most thing we are going to meet is aqueous humor. Okay. Aqueous humor, it is like a water. It's like a liquid. It gives shape, this bulged shape to our eye. Okay. This bulged shape is there now. That bulged shape is given to our eye by the aqueous humor. And even it gives nourishment to the cornea as well as to this iris. Okay. Now, what is this iris? Iris. This iris defines the color of your eye. Like blue eye, brown eye, hazel blue, hazel yellow, sorry. Otherwise hazel brown. These all colors is defined by the iris. This iris is nothing but it is a pigmented involuntary muscle. Then what is its work? Only it defines the color of our eye? No. The work of this iris is to control the size of pupil. To control the size of pupil. Now what is this pupil? Pupil is nothing. The gap, the window, the passage for the light is called as pupil. It's like a black hole. The whatever is entering, it will enter. It's entering into our eyes. That is called pupil. Okay. So this size of pupil is controlled by the iris. The size of pupil is controlled by which one? Iris. Now after pupil, the light will enter to the pupil. Once the light enters to the pupil, it will meet a convex bifocal convex lens. Crystalline bifocal convex lens. What is this bifocal convex lens? Is it the lens which we use to draw the diagrams for the in light reflection and reflection part? Kind of, we can say. But there is a lot of difference between this lens and that lens. In this lens is flexible. This lens is flexible. It can change its focal length. It can change its focal length. But the lens we saw in our previous chapter, you cannot change its focal length. You cannot change its shape. You cannot flex it. Okay. Now, after convex lens, what is we have? I said convex lens is flexible in nature, right? Then how it is getting flexed? Is it flexed by itself? Is it elaborating and is it contracting by itself? No. It is done by the ciliary muscle. Ciliary muscle is also involuntary muscle. Ciliary muscle is also an involuntary muscle which helps convex lens to contract and expand and to adjust its focal length based on the object distance. Why it have to adjust its focal length based on the object distance? See, when we saw the in previous chapter, we used to adjust the object and image distance to form the image. Focal length will be fixed. I said, for example, if object is at 10 cm, we will adjust the lens in such a way that the image should be formed at certain place. But in this case, it's not like that. You cannot, this distance, as I said, image is formed on this retina, right? This distance cannot be variable. This distance is fixed. So what you have to do? If you change the object distance, image distance is not going to change because it is fixed. Our eye is spherical, which is having a 2.3 cm of diameter. Then where image should be formed? That's why our eye lens, see the creation of the nature. Our eye lens have a special property. It will elaborate, like it will become thin and it will become thick, so that it can adjust its focal length based on the object distance. If the object is very far, the focal length will be very far. If the object is very near, the focal length will be very near. Based on that one, based on the object distance, our eye lens will adjust its focal length with the help of ciliary muscle. Ciliary muscle will help our lens to contract as well as to become thin, so that it can adjust its focal length. Okay. Next again we have vitreous humor. This vitreous humor is nothing but it is a jelly. As I said, aqueous humor is a water-like substance. Like that, vitreous humor is a jelly-like substance. What it does, it helps in light to fall on the retina, as well as it gives shape. This shape is a bulged shape. This bulged shape is due to the vitreous humor. It helps to give the bulged shape. It making our eyes spherical. Okay, that is because of vitreous humor. Then we have retina. Retina is like a screen. Whatever image is there, that image will be formed on retina. Image तो form हो गया. Then हम समझेंगे कैसे? How we will understand the image is formed? Image is in this way. Image is at that position. Image is in this color. For that we have a light sensitive cells on the retina that we call it as rods and cones. These two have its own properties. Okay, we'll study about that one. In retina, whatever image is formed, it is sensed by the rods and cones. These rods and cones are connected to the optic nerve. This optic nerve will send message to our brain. This optic nerve will send message to our brain in the form of electrical signals. Then our brain will understand the electrical signals and it gives message to you saying that here an object is there in this color at certain distance. Okay. Now we will study about this in detail one by one. So main parts and functions of human eye. Cornea, as I said, it is the transparent membrane on the front surface, means on the outermost surface. Here most of the reflection will take place. Then what is the main property of cornea? This cornea protects our eye from external dust. So whatever dust will be there, it stays on our eye. If anything fall into our eye, we can remove it because cornea acting as a protective layer. Then we have aqueous humor. Aqueous humor is nothing but it is a fluid between cornea and lens which maintains eye pressure and provides nutrition. See, here we have outside we have shape of our eye like this. Is it? This shape is because of the aqueous humor which is filled here. So here our lens is there and lens is held by the ciliary muscle. This portion is filled with the aqueous humor. Because of that it maintains the pressure and it gives the shape to our eye and even it gives nutrition to lens as well as to the cornea. Then we have an iris. Iris is nothing but it is a dark muscular diaphragm behind cornea. It controls the pupil size and gives eye color. As I said, it is an involuntary muscle which helps to define the color of eye. And even main function is to control the amount of light entering into our eye. Okay, so to that one it controls the size of pupil. For that it controls the size of pupil. How it controls the light entering into our eye? By controlling the size of pupil. Okay. This pupil is like window. Next we have pupil. It's just like a window. Okay. It's like an opening. It's like a passage. It allows the light to pass through it. And it regulates the amount of light entering the eye by the help of iris. Then we have crystalline lens. As I said, it is a flexible convex lens which adjusts its focal length based on the object distance with the help of ciliary muscles. Okay, with the help of ciliary muscles. And this lens form image. Which image? Real and inverted image. Real and inverted image. It forms real and inverted image. Then next we have ciliary muscle. What is the working of ciliary muscle? The ciliary muscle work is to control the size of lens. That is, muscles that alter the lens curvature to change its focal length. The muscle, it helps our eye length to control its focal length. Otherwise, change its focal length based on the object distance. So, these are the 6. And next we have, even still is there, we have vitreous humor. Vitreous humor, as I said, is a jelly-like fluid between the lens and retina. Between the lens and retina, which maintains the eyeball shape as well as gives nutrition. Then we have a retina. It is a light sensitive. It acts like a screen. So whatever image is formed, it formed on our screen. That is on retina. On this retina, we have rods and cones. We have rods and cones. What is this rods? Rods are sensitive for the dim light, means intensity of light. Okay. Whereas cones are sensitive for the colors. Okay. We say that owl is a night bird. Why? Even we ask question to our friends, are you night person or day person? Night bird means, owl we call it as night bird because it can only see in night time properly. Because it have a maximum number of rods. In morning time owls cannot see anything. Because it don't have cones. Because of that it is not sensitive for the high intensity. So, rods works in dim light. That's why owl can see in dim light. Okay. And cones, which is sensitive for the colors. bright light, brightness, high intensified light. Here you can see why we call these dots as dots and cones as cones. We call dots as dots because its shape is in their shape is in the form of dots. We call cones as cones because its shape is in the form of cone. That's why. In the cones again we have a three types. In cones again we have a three types. Usually most of the time we call it as blue cones, green and red. It doesn't mean that they are actually existing blue color, green color and red color. They are not pigmented. It means that if these cones is nothing but we call it as S, M, L. S type cone, M type cone and L type cone. S type cone means the cone's bit is sensitive for the short wavelength lights. Shorter wavelength. M type means which is sensitive for the medium wavelength. R type means which is sensitive for the longer wavelength. Okay. So totally we have 7 colors. Is it? With these 7 colors we can make a number of colors. So these lights are sensitive based on the wavelength. First one we have blue, that is shorter wavelength. These 3 lights under the shorter wavelength, and medium wavelength light is nothing but green, and remaining 3 comes under the longer wavelength. Okay. Actually the types of cones are shorter wavelength, S type, M type, L type. But most of the time it is misunderstood as blue color, green. Cones exist in 3 colors, that is blue color, green and red. But in reality they are not pigmented one thing, and they are not meant only for these 3 colors. Okay. Shorter we take it in the form of wavelengths. Shorter wavelength, medium wavelength and longer wavelength. So under blue, below blue we take it as shorter wavelength, and G we take it as medium wavelength, and between R and Y we take it as longer wavelength. Okay. Then we have an optic nerve. What is this optic nerve? Optic nerve, it transmits electrical signal to the brain for image interpretation. Okay, how this is done? So whatever light falls on our retina, that is whatever image is formed on our retina, it is sensed by the rods and cones. These rods and cones are nothing but light sensitive cells. These light sensitive cells we call it as photoreceptors. Even we call it as photoreceptors. Photoreceptors. Okay. What these photoreceptors will do? The cones is connected to these rods and all. See here, this optic nerve is there now. This optic nerve is connected to the cones and rods. So whatever image is formed on retina, these optic nerves will convert that light signal into electrical signal. That electrical signal is carried out by the optic nerve to the brain. It is carried out by the optic nerve to the brain. So whatever image is formed on our screen, our retina will be there and inverted. But that is carried by the optic nerve and it is sent to the brain, and brain will decode it. It will decode the code and it will make it you to see the objects erect. It will make you to see the objects erect. Okay. So before going to the working of phi, in next class we will study about the working of phi. Once again we will revise what we studied today. So as I said, today we started from the human eye. Human eye is nothing but a light sensitive organ which enables us to see the beautiful world around us. And our eye is made up of convex lens because it acts exactly like a camera, where we use convex lens in camera, as well as here also we are using convex lens. And whatever image is formed, it is formed on the screen like the image is formed on the screen. Next, the process involved in the formation of image is refraction of light. and this reflection of light will take place if and only if the reflected ray from the object falls on your eye. Then structure of human eye. In structure of human eye, so mainly the size of human eye, the diameter of human eye is 2.3 centimeter. It is spherical. Our eye is spherical, almost spherical, and its diameter around 2.3 centimeter, and it is protected by the orbital bone structure. As I said, in this one skulls you can see the orbital bone structure. There our eye is protected. Then maximum reflection will take place at cornea, because whatever light is entering into our eye, it is entering from light vacuum, that is air medium to the tensor medium. Our eye is a tensor medium, and this will change when you try to see the objects in water, because it is entering from water medium to the your eye medium. Okay. Then next we have main parts and functions of human eye. First one, cornea. Cornea acts as a protecting layer. It protects our eye from the external dust. And then we have aqueous humor. It is a fluid between cornea and lens, and it maintains the eye pressure and it provides nutrition for the bug. And iris. Iris is a pigmented involuntary muscle which controls the size of the pupil. Pupil, it is nothing but passage. It is window for the light. Crystalline lens, it is a flexible lens which forms image on our retina. And ciliary muscle, which helps our eye lens to adjust its focal length. Then main parts. So here also we study on main parts only, right? Okay. Then we have vitreous humor. In vitreous humor, what is vitreous humor? It is a jelly-like fluid which is filled between the eye, that is between lens and retina, and it gives a shape to eye as well as nutrition. And retina, which is acts as a screen where image is formed, and it is completely full of light sensitive cells. Then in light sensitive cells we have two types, rods and cones. Rods is sensitive for the intensity of dim light, whereas cone is sensitive for the color and bright light. In this one, in cones again we have three types, that is